Have you ever been in a situation where anxiety and panic are preventing you from getting to sleep? Do you feel like when you lay down to go to sleep, your adrenaline spikes, your mind is racing, you're tossing and turning, and sometimes this even develops into a full blown panic attack? Well, I'm here to let you know that you're not alone with this problem, and I've personally dealt with it before. And in this video, I want to provide you with the strategies that I use to overcome it. Now, before I get into anything, I have to give a quick disclaimer. I am not a medical professional, and none of this information is professional medical advice or a substitution for professional medical advice. Always seek the advice of a medical professional before implementing anything you see in this video. Now, this problem really turns into a vicious cycle, and that's exactly what happened to me. One particular night, I couldn't sleep because of anxiety over something, and then I felt terrible the next day. And then that same day, I felt anxious that what happened the previous night would happen again. And I let this go on for weeks, and my mental health suffered, my physical performance in the gym suffered, my grades were going down, and my relationships were getting worse because I was so irritable from not getting any sleep. So obviously, we need to break the cycle. And the first step is to identify and stop doing things that create anxiety or increase anxiety. Now, this is not an inclusive list, but some examples include to stop using stimulants too close to bedtime, anything such as caffeine, nicotine, ADHD medication, etc. can create an anxiety response. Your heart rate will go up, you'll have insomnia. Try not to use these things too close to bedtime. And the next example is the phones and devices in general before bedtime. The things that you're doing on the phone can probably wait till tomorrow. Let's say you have a sore throat and you're Googling that sore throat before bed, and now you're convinced you have cancer and you're freaking out. It's not worth ruining your sleep over these things. The emails can wait, the Google searches can wait. Put your phones away an hour before bed and get to bed. It's important to have techniques to ground yourself back to the present moment when you're feeling anxious. And here are the ways that I like to do that. Number one is a hot shower. Now, I like to take a hot shower before I go to bed anyway, but I find that the hot water is soothing to tense muscles, and it's very relaxing and grounding to focus on the sensations of the hot water hitting your skin. Number two, I have box breathing, and you can see the diagram here. The technique is to breathe out for 4 seconds, to hold for 4 seconds, to breathe in for 4 seconds, and to hold again for 4 seconds. And you can continue this process as long as you need. The Navy SEALs use this technique to calm themselves down in tense situations. And focusing on your breathing is very grounding, and it helps bring you back to the present moment. And the last thing is soft, relaxing music. And sometimes having this playing while you're trying to fall asleep can be very grounding, and you can focus on that instead of whatever it is that's creating the anxiety in you. My next piece of advice is to better your sleep environment. Take a look at your bedroom and see what can be resolved. I notice that if my room is too hot, I find myself tossing and turning, and I just can't get to sleep. I sleep way better with a colder room, and I've done some research on this, and turns out that it is better to sleep in a cold environment. Next is blackout curtains. At the time that I was going through these issues, there was a street lamp outside that caused light to come into my room, and it really helped to get blackout curtains to prevent that light from coming in, as well as light from the sun in the morning. Next is fans or sound machines. If you have noisy neighbors or there's noise outside or your roommates are making noise, it can be hard to fall asleep, and if you end up waking up in the middle of the night, it can be hard to fall back to sleep, especially if you have anxiety. So it's good to have something to drown out that noise. Lastly, obviously, a comfortable bed and pillows. You don't want to be sleeping on a rock, and you don't want your neck being in some awkward position from a bad pillow. So fixing these problems will help you get to sleep faster, you'll sleep better, and overall, it'll reduce your sleep anxiety. Now I want to discuss my sleep stack. And again, I need to reiterate, don't take anything without talking to your doctor about it first. So first on my list is KSM 66 ashwagandha. Now, this stuff is all over the internet, and there's tons of misinformation about what it is and what it actually does. But for me personally, I found that it significantly reduced my overall stress and anxiety levels. It can be taken during the day, and its effects are noticeable in the day and the night. There's no acute effects. It doesn't affect your brain in some way like a drug would, but overall, your stress levels will be lower. Next, I have Sleepy Time Tea Extra. It has to be the extra, and that's because it contains valerian. It also has chamomile. Now, these can come in supplement form if you don't like herbal tea, but I also like having the hot tea at night. It's kind of like a bedtime ritual. It puts me in the mood to go to sleep, and the valerian and the chamomile are very relaxing. Next on the list is melatonin. Um, Melatonin combined with Sleepy Time Tea Extra in particular is great if you have insomnia. And personally, I've never had anxiety when I took these two together at night. So if I was feeling anxious or kind of panicky, I would take these and anxiety is gone, and now I'm ready to go to sleep. Next, I have magnesium glycinate. You should be taking magnesium anyway for your health, but this particular magnesium is known to promote relaxation and to be good for sleep and anxiety. And finally is L-theanine, which is an amino acid that also promotes relaxation. I recommend starting with one and then adding in as you need it. So, for example, if you throw in Sleepy Time Tea Extra and it's not really working, then maybe try taking melatonin. If those two don't work, then add in the ashwagandha. But I think with this full list, it's really going to help to reduce your anxiety levels, and it's going to put you to sleep fast. I hope this information was helpful for you. Again, this is what I personally did to overcome these issues, and I have some friends that I've given this advice to, and they've reported good results. Please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like if you found it helpful. Have a great day.